hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine. Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I.
A right thee, witch, from that Runyon cry.
Her husband to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind,
Try.
and I another.
I myself have all the other, and with the reports they blow, all the quarters that they know, in the ship's sky. I'll drain him as dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day lay upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle in time. Though his bulk cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed.
Look what I have. Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrapped as already this come.
A drum. A drum. Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace! The charm's wound up.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath, there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Knight.
Paddock calls. Anon. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and fill the air.
bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the new estate.
Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, fortune on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak, for brave Macbeth, well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the rogue, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements. But the Norwaying lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed now this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes. as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report there was cannons overcharged with double cracks, so doubly they redoubled strokes upon the foe.
Who comes here?
Ross.
God save the king.
Camest thou, noteworthy thing?
From Fife, great king. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, until Macbeth, with smoking sword in hand, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us!
Great happiness. No more that thing of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interests. Go pronounce his present death. With his former title, read Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
That which you have won, Macbeth has won.
Oh, I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
Go. Get him surgeon.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called to force? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it. Live you, or are you aught that man may question? Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glam.
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
But sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are you fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can, look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not. Speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail, hail.
Hail, lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth. All hail.
Now stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By my father's death, I know I'm Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor, too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. His wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. I am sent to give thee from our royal master thanks. And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange. And oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousin, a word I pray.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir. Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me a favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friend.
Is execution done on Cawdor?
My liege, I have spoke with one who saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin! The sit of my ingratitude even now weighs on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense was slow to overtake thee. Only I can say, more is thy due, than more than all can pay. Welcome hither. I've begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hath no less deserved, let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanted in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Son, kinsman, thanes, and all whose places are nearest, know that we shall establish our state on our eldest, Malcolm. And hereafter name him Prince of Cumberland. Which honor not unaccompanied, and best him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, to further bind us to you.
I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach.
My worthy Calder.
I will take my leave. Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my dark and deep desires.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report, they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title, before, these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time with, "Hail, King, that shalt be." This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great. Art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirit into thine ear and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it.
Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming.
The raven himself is horse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife sees not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold! Great glance, worthy Hodor. Greater than both, by the all hail hereafter. Thy letter has transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I can see now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes?
Never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. There, nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
I have indeed observed. The air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love.
All our service in every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces toward him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done. When 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease. Success. But that this blow might be the be-all and the end-all, here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. That we but teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
How now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would like the poor cat in the attic?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become
What beast
a
was
man.
it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time, nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail, so convinced that memory shall be a fume. When in swinish sleeps their drenched natures lies as in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What acts put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt?
Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and used their very daggers, that they have done?
Who dares receive it other, when we shall make our grief and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
She goes down at 12.
Take it to his letter, sir.
Hold. Take my sword. Take thee. That, too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Now, being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not. And yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this, which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses. Or else, worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the 1/2 world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls his watch. Thus, with his stealthy pace toward his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth. Hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What? Ho!
Alack! I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt, and not the deed, confounds us. Hark! Oh, I have laid their daggers ready. Couldn't miss him. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Malcolm.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder. But they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and Amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say Amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
Wherefore could I not pronounce Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen's stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life.
What do you mean?
Still, it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
No, I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? Oh, how is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber, a little water clears us of this deed. More knocking. Get on your nightgown. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. The man was a poor of Hell's Gate. Should have owed turning the key.
Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub?
Here's a farmer that hanged himself in expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enough about you. Here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, who's there in the other devil's name? Faith. Here's an equivocator who would swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator! Knock, knock. Never at quiet.
What are you?
This place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I have thought to have lightened some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire.
Anon, anon!
Pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing to the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
And what three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him, it mars him, it sets him on, it sets him off, persuades him and disheartens him, makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night. Is thy master stirring? Oh, our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely upon him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know it's a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in, physics pain.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Horror! Horror!
Horror! Oh, tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder had broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say, the life?
Mean you, his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight. Do not bid me speak, see, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake, murder and treason! Banquo, Malcolm, awake! And look upon death itself. Ring the bell!
What's the business? Speak, speak.
Our royal master's murdered.
Alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
From this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All's but toys. Renown and grace is dead.
What is amiss?
You are, though you do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered. By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you do so? Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. Here lay Duncan, his skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looking like a breach in nature. They are the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade.
Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make his love known?
Look to the lady! And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all. Let's briefly put on fearless readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
I'll not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office that the false man does easy. I'll to England. There's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody. This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and my safest way is to avoid the aim.
Threescore and 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowing. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Is it night's predominance or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth entomb, when living light should kiss it? 'Tis unnatural. And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they would make war with mankind. It said they ate each other.
Is to known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth had slain.
Alas the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm, the king's son, is stolen away and fled, which puts upon him suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still. Thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own lives means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named in Gontiscon to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu.
Farewell.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity. But that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
May your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are, with a most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousin Malcolm is bestowed in England, not confessing his cruel parricide, filling his hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Hie you to horse. Adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot. Farewell. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue, have I defiled my mind? For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings? Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then. Now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. Thus did Banquo. This I made good to you in our last conference.
You made it known to us.
Do you find your patience so predominant in your natures that you can let this go? You know Banquo is your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon thee straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them, they think on. Things without remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on. Gentle, my lord. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Knowst thou that Banquo and his Fleance lives?
What's to be done?
There shall be done a deed of dreadful note. Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
Near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear something. Then 'tis he. A light, a light! 'Tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Treachery! Lie, good Fleon! Lie! Lie! Lie!
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We've lost the best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome. Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Be big in mirth. Anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's, then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. Thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal, sir. Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fate again. I had else been perfect. Now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes in his head.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Sweet remembrancer. Now. Good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present. Who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance?
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves, your highness?
Should you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often, as the fit is, momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. If much you know him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Fee, and regard him not.
Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff! This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts. Imposters to true fear. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all is done, you look but on a stool.
See them. They all look. How say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst not, speak to.
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame.
The times have been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. And now they rise again. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasure of time.
What man dare, I dare, take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble, or be alive again and dare me to the desert with thy sword. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so, being gone? I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth. Broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. It grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did not you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, we'll to sleep. We are yet but young, indeed.
Hecate, you look angry.
Have I not reason?
Have I not reason, beldams as you are? Saucy and overbold. How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to do my part or show the glory of our art? And which is worse? All you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you! Hither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for there. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and a fatal end. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know, security is mortal's chiefest enemy. I am called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again. Round about the cauldron go, in the poison entrails grow.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burning, cauldron, bubble. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witches, mummy, maw, and gulf, liver of blaspheming priest, gall of goat, and bits of yeast. Finger of birth, strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burning, cauldron, bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. Well done! I commend thy pains, and everyone shall share in the gains.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
How now, you secret, foul, and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, however you come to know it. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say if thou hast rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast marked my fear aright. But one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent and
Macbeth, 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 be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff! What need I fear of thee? But yet, I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder.
What is this?
Be lion mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
Well, that will never be! Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Yet, my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you.
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo, down. Thou other is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? What, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet? I'll see no more. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What is this so? Where are they? Gone. Come in! Without there!
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I do hear the galloping of a horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, to bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand, and even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babe. He loves us not.
My dearest cuz, I pray you, school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Father he is, and yet he's fatherless. Your father's dead. What will you do? How will you live now?
My father's not dead for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
And then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet in faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who? Oh. And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Oh, God help thee, poor baby, but how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you weep for him. If he were not, it were a good sign I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou lies, thou shaggy villain.
What, you egg?
Damn, kill me, mother! Run away, I pray you! Ah!
Let us hold fast the mortal sword and like good men, bestride our downfall and birth them. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
What I believe, I'll wail. What no believe, and what I can redress as I shall find the time to friend I will. What you have spoken may be so, perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may discern of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul must wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave-taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safety.
Bleed, bleed, poor country! Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases short, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeared. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkst for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, by him that should succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name, but there's no bottom, none, to my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids cannot fill up the cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throat and the fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty. We have willing dames enough.
With this, there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a staunchless avarice that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels in this other's house, and my more having would be a sauce to make me hunger more. That I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice hath been the sword to our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath voices to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them. Nay, had I power, I should uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth. If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No. Not to live. A nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptered, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Thy royal father was the most sainted king. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast. My hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion hath from my soul wiped the grim scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these strains hath sought to win me into his power. But God deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself in thy direction, and unspeak my own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to women, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Seward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
So who comes here?
Sirs, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave.
How does my wife?
Why, well,
And all my children?
well, two.
This tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No. They were, well, at peace when I did leave them.
How goes it?
Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Seward and 10,000 men.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they?
The main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven. What man gives sorrow words? The grief that does not speak whispers the o'er-fraught heart and bids it break.
All my children killed too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
She has no children. All my pretty chickens. Did you say all? Demon. What? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. They heaven look on and not take their part. Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Gentle heavens, cut short all intermissions. Front to front, bring me this fiend of Scotland and myself. within my sword's length, set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready, our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature. In this slumbery agitation, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes, upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
You see, her eyes are open.
Yes, but their senses are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this for a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark! She speaks.
Out. Damn spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Why then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and afeard. What need we fear? Who knows it? When none can call our power to account. Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mark all with distorting.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not.
Here's the smell. Blood. Still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
A sigh is there. Her heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I say to you yet again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out in his grave.
Even so?
To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her, and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenges burn in them, for their dear causes would to the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man. Near Birnam Wood shall they well meet them. That way are they coming. What does the tyrant? Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Those that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury, but for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule. Now does he feel his secret murders sticking on his hands. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's cloak upon a dwarfish thief. Who, then, shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Bring me no more reports! Let them fly, all, till Birnam Wood, removed to Dunsinane I cannot taint with fear? What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold Satan, I say!
This push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough, and that which should accompany old age is love, honor, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have. But in their stead, curses, not loud, but deep. Mouth honor, breath, which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not.
Satan!
What is thy gracious pleasure?
The devil damn thee, thou cream-faced loon. Where gotst thou that goose look?
There's 10,000
geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
What soldiers?
The English force, so please you.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more men. Hang those that talk of fear, and give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased and with some sweet, oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come! Put mine armor on. Give me my sword. Satan, send out. If thou couldst, doctor, find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. But off, I say. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down the fort.
'Tis his main hope. For where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt. And none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them, dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home.
What is that noise?
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. I have supped full with horrors, direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story, quickly.
I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and villain!
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree thou shalt hang alive. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm, and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none. I begin to be weary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world was now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind! Come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight? Let us be beaten if we cannot fight!
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou call himself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself cannot pronounce a title more hateful to mine dear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou lies, abhorred tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie that thou speakst. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Thou wast born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by a man that's of a woman born.
That way the noises!
Tyrant! Show thy face!
If thou be slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Either thou Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded. There thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems rooted. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir. The castle.
Turn, hellhound. Turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou loose slaver! Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb, untimely nipped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward! And live to be the show and gaze all the time.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold enough!
I would the friends we missed were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived till he was a man, but like a man, he died.
Then he is dead.
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King!
For so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free.
Hail, King of Scotland! Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honored name. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.